I've previously done a video on which Lantern Corps I think the supervillains of Gotham City should be in, and this list included the Joker. However, since I have made that video, I've given the Joker's Lantern Corps a lot more thought, and decided that he actually deserves a video all of his own, as I've since re-evaluated him. And this video is going to go over which Lantern Corps the Joker could be in, and which one I now think that he should be in. Now, for those who don't know, the Lantern Corps are groups of organisations who have the most powerful weapons in the universe, and these are rings that allow the wearer to wield great amounts of energy that are powered by different emotions. These emotions are love, fear, will, avarice, hope, rage, and compassion. And these make up the emotional spectrum. And there are also the Lantern Corps of life and death, which aren't technically part of the emotional spectrum, but we'll still be considering them a valid Lantern Corps option for this video. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Love. Now, the Joker could not be in the Love Lantern Corps. I could actually list all the reasons, but we all know that the main reason is he is the Joker, and he has no love for anyone, not even Harley Quinn. He views everyone around him as mere puppets, to be used and disposed of as he sees fit, and he has no love that links him to anyone in the world. Though with that being said, in the White Knight series, that version of the Joker does seem to genuinely love Harley Quinn. But even then, I don't think anyone would say that it's his dominant emotion, because the Joker just simply doesn't have enough love in him to qualify for this Lantern Corps. I mean, the closest thing he has ever come to love would be how he feels about Batman, but their relationship is not really about love, or at least if it is, it's about a very twisted kind of affection for one another. But the Joker certainly doesn't belong in the Lantern Love Corps. Rage. Now, the Joker has certainly gotten angry over the years, and had quite a few tantrums.
You just play along!
But to say that this is his dominant emotion seems to be going too far. Yes, he is unhinged and insane, but it's that insanity that's dominant, not the anger inside of him. With that being said, the Joker does of course get revenge on those who've wronged him, and that is a very large part of the Red Lantern Corps' jobs. But the Joker never seems to do it with great rage. In fact, he's usually laughing his head off as he gets his revenge, and he just doesn't pulsate with the anger and hate that the rest of the Lantern Corps does.
Feel my unbound fury!
And feeling and releasing their rage is how the Red Lanterns use their power rings. But the Joker is oddly in control, even when he seems to be losing control, because it all seems to be part of his act of manipulation. And though it's true that he has of course gone angry here and there over the years, but it's no more times than the rest of us get angry in our lifetimes. And to be in this Corps, his anger and hatred would need to be so much greater. So it's not really the Lantern Corps for him. Will. Willpower is actually a possibility, as the Joker does have a great amount of willpower. After all, he wouldn't be able to do the things that he does if he didn't have a large amount of willpower. And since the key factor for getting this power ring is being able to overcome great fear, well then the Joker clearly qualifies. After all, he regularly faces Batman, who's practically the personification of fear, and not only does he regularly face him, he deliberately antagonises him and tries to bait him into killing him. And anyone who can do that clearly has no problem overcoming their fear. So he definitely meets the requirements for the Green Lantern Corps members. However, there are a lot of rules for this Lantern Corps, as they are in fact an intergalactic police force, and the Joker is an insane mass murderer. So he could never be in this Lantern Corps, as the Guardians and the other members of the Lantern Corps would never, under any circumstances, allow it. And it's pretty impossible that a ring would actually fly onto him in the first place. And if by some strange miracle a Green Lantern ring did actually manage to land on his finger, the other Lantern Corps members would shut it down immediately and in all likelihood lock him up for the rest of his life. So it's for that reason that he can't be in this Lantern Corps, even though he does kind of qualify for their skill set. Avarice. The Orange Lantern Corps is for people who have large levels of greed and deep levels of wanting. But the problem is that the only thing the Joker actually wants is to have fun with his game with Batman, and to get Batman to break his one rule and finally kill him. So yes, he does want Batman to kill him, and he does want this more than anything, and in the meantime he plays the game of cat and mouse with him, or bat and mouse, but he really doesn't seem to want anything else. And though he has managed to acquire quite a large amount of money here and there over the years,
$250 million? Woohoo! Woohoo!
and indeed garnered a lot of power in Gotham City with his Joker gang, but this isn't for material possession, it's just to fund his game with Batman, nothing else.
I want my monsters.
I sent you back the money. I don't want it.
Do I look like I care about money? I just want my monsters, Doc. And if you don't give them to me, well then, it won't be funny.
So avarice doesn't really make sense for his character, even if he was able to convince the only Lantern Corps member, Larfleeze, to let him join the Orange Lantern Corps in the first place, as Larfleeze doesn't really like to share anything, at all, in any way. So this one isn't for the Joker. Life. Very few people can qualify for the White Lantern Corps of Life ring. Not even Batman could wear one for very long, and the idea that the Joker could have one is almost laughable. He is a mass murderer who hates life. He practically worships death. In fact, he is almost the exact opposite of what a White Lantern Corps member should be. Not to mention the fact that White Lantern Corps members are almost always heroes. Now with that being said, Sinestro has wielded one before, so villains can wear the white power ring. But generally speaking, heroes make up almost all of its members. And since the Clown Prince of Crime is literally as far away from being a hero as you can get, and he also loves to murder people, this is not going to be his Lantern Corps. Fear. Now, Fear is one Lantern Corps that I think we can all agree on that Joker is 100% a perfect candidate for. After all, even Batman is afraid of the Joker, to a certain extent, and even the rest of the supervillain criminals in Gotham are scared of him.
We may be scared of you, but we're terrified of him.
And if he was in our universe, he would be terrifying, and probably the biggest terrorist in history. So without question, he has the qualities needed to be in the Sinestro Lantern Corps. But with that being said, the Joker is insane. If he actually had a power ring that was powered by fear, then he would definitely be an incredible and unstoppable force of power. But because of his insanity, he would never follow the rules of the Sinestro Lantern Corps. The Corps does actually have rules that obviously come from Sinestro, and when people break them, he kicks them out of the Sinestro Corps. Now in most cases, this tends not really be a problem, because the only rule you really have to follow is that you have to do what Sinestro commands you to do. And while the Joker would go along with any of Sinestro's plans, so long as it screwed over the heroes of Earth, especially Batman, the Joker wouldn't follow these rules indefinitely. In fact, he'd probably just pretend to go along with it for a certain amount of time, and then turn around and kill Sinestro when the opportunity presents itself. Because that's just how the Joker is, and it's also the way Sinestro is. After all, Sinestro is a dictator with a god complex, and the Joker is insane and wants to kill everyone and just watch the world burn. And this Lantern Corps would not be big enough for the both of them, so they'd end up 100% fighting each other. And I must admit, I would actually like to see this story played out, because a fight between them two would be incredible to watch. Now, if this was just an ordinary fight between the two of them, I'd say the Joker has a very good chance of winning, and possibly would actually kill Sinestro. But the problem with this fight is, the Sinestro Lantern Corps rings have an emergency shutdown. Sinestro had it put into the Lantern rings in case they were ever turned against him. So even if the Joker did fight against him, Sinestro would just turn off the ring, take it away from him, and wrap up the Joker in a construct. And that's why he couldn't be in the Sinestro Lantern Corps. The Joker is just too much of a wildcard, and as we all know, he won't follow any orders except the orders he gives himself. But it could be a very good story watching him joining the Sinestro Corps, even if it was only for a limited amount of time. But it could never be his permanent Lantern Corps, so we'll have to move on. Hope. The Blue Lantern Corps of Hope is reserved for those who have great hope in their hearts in the most dire of situations. And unfortunately, the Joker abandoned his hope long ago when he actually became the Joker, when he chose to forget his past troubles and embrace his insanity. So when I say he's abandoned hope, I mean it literally. The Joker just has no hope in his heart, and he's never going to get better, he'll always be an insane criminal. And in the Joker's origin, in the Batman the Killing Joke story, the Joker lost everything. His pregnant wife died and the child died with her. He'd already lost his job and pretty much everything else that mattered to him, and then he even became disfigured through exposure to chemicals when he fell into a vat fighting Batman. And it's this moment that defines who the Joker is. If he had managed to keep on to his hope in this moment, then yes, he could actually join the Hope Lantern Corps, and he would also probably have a very different future. But he didn't. The Joker gave up on his life, and he gave up on his hope, and embraced his supervillain insanity. So this is the one Lantern Corps that the Joker could never be in under any circumstances. Unless of course the writers changed the Joker's character and his past, but the main version of DC's Joker could never be in this Lantern Corps. Compassion. Now, to be in this Lantern Corps, you need to have one of two things. Either you need to have great compassion in your heart, or you have to have absolutely no compassion in your heart whatsoever. And I think it's pretty obvious which one of these refers to the Joker. And this Lantern Corps is actually the one that I originally thought the Joker should be in, because the Joker doesn't really have any compassion. It's one of the things the Joker has always displayed, or rather not displayed, as he kills without thinking about it. He has no empathy with anyone around him, and he acts as if running on pure instinct. He has no problems manipulating anyone and lies completely without a second's hesitation, and he's never plagued by any doubts or guilt. So this is not a man who has compassion for his fellow human being. And as for Harley Quinn, the person who loves the Joker the most, he has been lying and manipulating her from the very moment he met her. He lied about his childhood and who he was behind the Joker facade, all the while not caring one bit for Harley. He beats her, lies to her, and practically treats her like a slave. And she is the closest thing he has to a relationship. And I don't just mean boyfriend-girlfriend, I mean a relationship of any kind, as he has no other relationship at all, not even friends. Mainly because he kills anyone and everyone around him, so it is his own fault, because who would want to be close to a man who's most likely going to kill you? And the only person he has any feelings toward at all is Batman, and all he ever does with him is put him in elaborate death traps. And the Joker will destroy, abduct and murder cops and Gothamites, and even children, just to make his game with Batman more interesting. He'll even kill Robins, he'll kill his lovers.
I'm sorry, beloved. I didn't know.
And he'll cripple his friends.
Candygram!
And the Joker specifically targets these people because he knows they're close to Batman, and he knows it will hurt Batman the most, and may one day push Batman over the edge, so actually break his no-killing rule and kill the Joker once and for all. And not for 1 second has the Joker ever felt any regret, remorse or guilt. He is almost the perfect personification of evil, as he has no good in his heart whatsoever. And anything that he's ever actually done that helps other people has really just been for his own gain, as he views the world as expendable, along with everyone in that world, and the Joker will do whatever he needs to and whatever he wants to, so long as it helps him. And this Lantern Corps is made mainly out of vicious serial killers without remorse, which means that they will accept the Joker in a heartbeat, as he is perfect to be in this Lantern Corps, as he's just like the rest of the sadistic members of the Corps. And for those reasons, I think that the Indigo Lantern Corps could work well for the Joker. He definitely qualifies for the Fear Lantern Corps without a doubt, but he could never stay in the Sinestro Corps for too long, as he'd never follow Sinestro's rules indefinitely. But as I have said, the Indigo Tribe would welcome him with open arms, and then the Joker could learn a lot about compassion with them, and it would also neutralise him without killing him. And since Batman won't kill the Joker and no prison can hold him, this may very well be the only way to stop the Joker on a permanent basis, as the Corps would change him so that he'd never want to commit another crime or hurt another person. So unlike Arkham, he couldn't just break out, because he wouldn't want to break out. And all of this would stop the Joker without actually hurting him. So it does seem like a perfect fit, and that's why I have said before that I think this is the Lantern Corps for the Joker. But as I said, I've also given it a lot more thought since then, and I've now decided that there is one other Lantern Corps that I think suits the Joker better. Death. When it comes to the Joker, Death is never far behind. pretty much every time we have ever seen the Joker in a story, be it TV, film, video game or TV show, the Joker always ends up killing someone along the way. Death and the Joker go hand in hand, which is why I think this is the perfect core for him. But this Lantern Core is a bit different from the others. In all the other Lantern Cores, a person just puts on the ring, and then they have complete control of it and can wield all the energy that comes with it, allowing them to fly, shoot or blast energy, and create energy constructs. But with the Black Lantern Core, it works the other way around. You see, the Black Lantern rings attach themselves to people who are dead, or people who've been resurrected, and then they take control of those bodies and use them as zombies. They have all the memories of the host, but they don't actually resurrect them. It's the rings that are in control. The dead people are still dead, as their souls aren't in their bodies. And even if the Joker isn't dead, he could still be in this Lantern Core, as he has died before on many occasions. In fact, I've actually done a video on his many deaths, a link to which is in this video's description. So since the Joker has died and yet come back to life, a black ring could easily control him. In fact, I really hope this is the plot used in Injustice 3, as the Joker is dead in that universe, and having a zombie Black Ring Joker would be out of this world awesome. But if this did happen, it would be the ring, not the Joker, who is in control. But I think that the Joker may actually be able to use a black ring without him dying and without it taking over his mind and body. You see, the character Black Hand worships death, and he was the one that really brought about the Blackest Night event and all the Black Lantern rings that attach themselves on the corpses. But he also wears a Black Lantern Core ring, but he doesn't lose his mind. He is perfectly in control of his actions. And I think that the Joker worships death enough to take control of a Black Lantern ring. And this is definitely a strong possibility for the Joker, and I think that he easily qualifies for this Lantern Core a lot more than the others, as the Joker has killed literally millions across his various incarnations. In some, it's even in the billions. He beats people, he tortures and executes them, and he does this just on a whim, or just to fulfill a desire of destruction that can never be quenched. He basically just does it whenever, because why not? He's the Joker. And to make it easier to see that he belongs in this core, just ask yourself a simple question. Who else in the DC universe enjoys killing and murder and chaos to the level that the Joker does? And though some other supervillains may give him a run for his money, I think Joker is quite possibly the biggest death worshipper out there. And even if the Joker wasn't able to take a black ring and use it, and actually had to be resurrected by a black ring and then the black ring taking control of his body, this could still work out as well. Because the Black Lanterns come back to manipulate people's emotions. They do this because the rings seem to be able to take power from a person when they feel a strong emotion. If it's love, avarice, willpower, it doesn't really matter which one, they can drain it and feed off of it. And when you're looking for a supervillain who can monologue, hit a person where it hurts the most, aggravate and annoy people and bring out the worst in them, and make them do unspeakable things, well, the Joker fits that bill perfectly.
I know it's soon, but think you'll ever love again? Maybe you won't kill your next family.
The Joker is a master of talking and getting inside a person's head, so even as a host for the Black Ring, he would still work perfectly as a Black Lantern Corps member. But personally, I think the Joker wielding a Death Lantern Corps ring and being completely in control of his mind would be a much better story. And who among us doesn't want to see that happen? I mean, just imagine a zombie army with superpowers being controlled by the Joker and attacking Gotham City. It would be insane. And though the thing the Joker loves the most is playing with Batman in their little game of bat and mouse, taking an army and spreading chaos across the universe, well, that still sounds like something Joker would very much enjoy doing.
I stitched together a crazy quilt of alien civilizations without regard to rhyme or reason. Afraid, confused, devolved to their basest instincts. They kill each other in the most sickening ways. And I get to sit back, munch popcorn, and enjoy the show, watching as the world burns.
But obviously, this is just my own opinion, and you may agree or disagree with my logic. And this video is of course aimed at discussion, so please feel free to comment on whether you agree or disagree with me, along with your reasons for thinking this. And I'd just like to say a quick thank you to those who made this video possible by donating to the Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.